Hello and welcome to Staff Spotlight, a program where we learn more about the staff here at Baystown Local College. I'm Ace Wheeler. Today we're talking with a dynamic member of the staff at Baystown Local College, Katlyn Lucas. Katlyn is an administrative assistant and works at the front desk here at Bates Technical College. Katlyn has been at Bates since 2025, and we're excited to learn more about her career as well as her background. Katlyn, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here. I know that you're busy, and so is everyone else at this campus.
Of course. Well, it's awesome to see everybody in action now and get out of my little front desk.
Finally, you're in the other building.
Yeah, we made it over here.
All right, so today we're going to talk about you at work, all the details that you can talk about, and then you outside of work. So, ready to dive in?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so for the people who don't know what you do at Bates, just please briefly describe what you do.
Yeah, well, I am the administrative assistant to the dean, mostly here at Central Campus. My dean does oversee some programs at our two other campuses, but mostly I am here to support staff, faculty, our programs as a whole, and also the dean. So I do a wide range of things. You'll see me coordinating meetings and things like that. I do all the dean's calendar. I also work a lot with programs. As you know, I bug you quite a bit for information and putting in your classes to CTC link. So there's also so much that I could say I do, but
all right, yeah. So how about like a brief day-to-day? Like, I know today's a little different and special because you're here and we had a fire drill and whatnot, but like how about like a generic day? What does your day-to-day look like?
Well, it really depends. So I get in and it's really at first whatever my email tells me, because there's always something that's happened that needs attention, anywhere from we need to hire a new adjunct instructor and like coordinating when they're going to come in and do onboarding paperwork, or there's a instructor that's out and then I need to post a sign on the door that they're out for the day and make sure students know that class isn't going on. And then there's countless other meetings that I kind of work with. As you probably know, like advisory committee meetings, I do a lot in there. Some of your one-on-ones, some of really anything that the dean needs in terms of meetings. And then I also build all the classes in CTC Link, so before students are able to register, we build classes in there. It takes about maybe 16 data entry fields to make one class.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then you have your labs, especially for yours.
At least this program,
Last I kind of looked at it, and our gen eds have grown really rapidly, but I've done about more than 200 classes per quarter, so that's quite a bit of data entry that goes into making that work. And also, as we all know at the college, CTC Link is really fun to work with. It's awesome.
So I know registration's right around the corner.
Yes.
So you're currently working out, building classes, and making sure everything is set in stone.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of started on spring quarter, and everybody's focus is on spring. But summer quarter starts the registration starts April 28th. So that's where you get me talking about, hey, you already have your schedule ready for summer? Hey, I need all these details about summer already. And you're like, I haven't even,
what summer?
Do you mean? So it's a lot of pre-planning, especially around gen eds. So my dean is kind of special in that he oversees both programs at Central Campus. He oversees also programs at other campuses. So we got iBest, Tech High Academics, High School Plus, and also the libraries. And on top of that, gen eds. So gen eds, he does gen eds for all three campuses. So any students, which becomes a big part of my kind of role here, is that I, before every quarter, have to make a huge spreadsheet about every class that we're going to offer in gen eds and what classrooms we have to use with it, what instructors we have available, if we need to hire any new instructors, all that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of planning that goes into it.
And you are the person, I mean, obviously dean, but it's kind of on you to do kind of the background heavy lifting?
Kind of. So I'll do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then I'll meet with the dean and we'll go over like, who do you want staffed for this class and this class? And once he decides who to staff the class with, then I do all the administrative work and like sending out offer letters to the folks so they know what classes they're or they might be teaching. Gen Eds is kind of special because it's kind of a fluid thing, whereas like for your program, you're going to take in, you have a program capacity of 20 people. But for Gen Eds, if we see a class that starts to fill up, then that's when I go in and say, hey, can we open another section? Who do we have? Can we get more students here in the classes that they need? So it's a lot of periodic check-ins with Gen Eds.
I didn't realize how busy you are before, like planning ahead the next quarter. So, I mean, before you know it, like, hey, where's my fall class of that and whatnot. So that's crazy. How about other supports for certain programs, other than class scheduling and getting students sent to the right classes and programs? Is there anything else that you do?
Well, there's a wide range of administrative support that I provide, specifically for programs. You are probably well aware of purchasing.
Yes.
So I do all the program purchasing for any supplies that you need. And then I also do any like visual door signs, or I also play a big role in kind of telling students about programs. What's unique about this specific program or this specific position here at this campus compared to other admin assistants for the dean is that we don't have a front-facing like student services front desk. It's me, so
you are the front desk.
I am the front desk. So a lot of my program support comes in that of like working with students, and it's kind of cool because I have the idea of the instructional side. I work with the faculty so much on the back end that I can come and when a student has a question, I have the background and I know who to go to.
That's awesome.
So that support, also if you ever need to travel, I do all the paperwork for travels and make sure that we're all state compliant with that. The OER, which is Open Educational Resources, making sure that we're reporting what materials we're using for each classes. And just all a ton of like things that come up.
That's a lot of work that I feel like not a lot of people think that you do. Like, oh, you're just at the front desk.
Exactly.
I don't know what you do, you know? So for this job, the admin assistant job, is there any certain qualifications that you need to have, or is it just like, hey, I can do it?
I mean, that's a good question. There is actually... shout out, there is a position open right now in our nursing department for an administrative assistant. Looking at like straight qualifications, typically it's like a high school diploma or GED and like I think 3 years of experience, or an associate's degree in 1 year. Like personally with my background, I have an associate's degree in HR and a bachelor's degree in history, so check that off. And then in terms of skills, it's a lot of attention to detail because we're working with multiple programs, and like you can do like one mistake in CTC link, and people will not be able to register in this class. Or it's going to create.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And then also just managing multiple priorities all at once because there's so many projects happening. There's so many people you're providing assistance to, whether it be faculty, students, or even just like program, like leadership of like, there's always this overarching goal that we're working towards as Bates Technical College, like strategically moving forward so that we can offer the best things. So you have to be really good at managing that and making sure that everything's on track.
So with that, you said some experience. Did you do this at a different school before you came here, or?
Good question. So my experience, so I've been in mostly education for all my professional life, I guess. In college, I was chief of staff of my student senate, so that was quite fun. Doing kind of administrative work, but also making sure everybody like abided by the bylaws and like coordinated a lot of office hours there. And then I went on to a distance education company, so everything was remote. I got to work from home, so that was great. And that was student support, so I would take questions via email and phone and assist students in that way, which really lends well to this position since it's so much front desk.
Yeah, and now you're in person. So
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
don't have to
that's
do that
kind of
online
nice. Yeah.
stuff, so you can be face to face. I mean, you did mention projects. Is there any projects that you're currently working on or have worked on to help promote the school in any way?
That's a good question. There's a lot of different things I could talk to. As I've said before, the Gen Ed is kind of the biggest project that's just seen by everybody. I think a lot of my other goals are around kind of our advisory committee programs, how we bring industry experts and they come and meet with us and tell us what's going on in the industry so we can then respond to that and give our students the tools that they need to succeed in the workforce. That's been a lot of work in trying to, one, recruit new members and make sure that we're getting the information that we need and making those meetings as productive as possible, which faculty, of course, have helped so much in that, of telling us, well, what do we want these meetings to look like and what do we need to know? I hope that in the next few months or next year that we can come up with some really good ways to get them more involved in our programs.
Sweet, awesome. Very busy. So keeping all that stuff in mind, from budgeting, student support, and building things out, and CTC link class schedules. So you're super bogged down. How do you keep it together? How do you you know what? I'm everywhere. Let's say the dean is calling me. Let's say VP Johnny Who is calling you.
Yep.
All these other programs. I need help. How do you keep it together?
Ooh, oh my gosh, that's such a good question. It's been a real growth opportunity because, of course, this role has been really challenging in trying to kind of balance the administrative detail work I have to do and the student support work. So it's very often that I'm working on something that's really brain power intense, and then I'm front desk. So somebody's going to come in, they're going to get interrupted, and you you have to stop and give the support that's needed, which I love doing that. But I've learned to really have systems in place. I now have a paper to-do list that I will write exactly where I'm at, because if I talk to somebody and it can take me 20 minutes to go through the whole this is the program, this is the enrollment process, all of that, and I do want to take my time with students. So then I go back and I know exactly where I'm at. I mean, by then, CTC Link has a 20-minute timer where it will log you out, but
that's right, yeah.
You exactly know where you're at. So it's been really easy to make those systems, and I've had to build it in where I know exactly. I have my big spreadsheets for the gen eds. I will put what exact line I'm working on. So that's kind of what's kept me sane and trying,
and routine,
exactly,
just do it
trying to
day in,
make
day
the
out.
chaos
less chaotic.
Yeah, and I love spreadsheets too. That's such a nerdy thing to say. I know, but I will make a killer spreadsheet. And
I've seen some, and they're great.
Thank you.
They're fantastic.
I'm glad,
especially for the budgeting part.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Classes, they're fantastic. So.
Okay, well, I'm happy that it's being useful, because that's my biggest thing about this position is I love, and me as in general, is I love making complex processes understandable, and that's been a big goal coming in, especially with the budget stuff, because I know there's so much information out there that may not apply to your specific program, so I wanted to make it so that you had one spot to just go for and have all that information right there.
Awesome. So you started 2025. What was the first challenging thing? You've only been here about a year now, right?
A year and a half. So I started in November of 24, I think, or fall quarter. So yeah, I think it's been a year and a half.
Okay, so what's the one thing you're I don't know what I'm doing? What's one big speed bump you're I got to figure this out so I could be the best for the whole campus?
I think the biggest challenge is that we as an education institution are so responsive to what our students need and what the community needs, which means that we are rapidly changing all the time. There's always something new. There's always something better we want to do. So that you can see that in kind of the programs, the curriculum changes that will come next fall kind of stuff. So we're working on those. And then also with gen eds, we don't know. It's hard for me to predict how many students will need like a biology class. Mm-hmm. But I remember last year, or maybe 2 quarters ago, all of a sudden it exploded. Like, we filled up 4 different sections, which is like 100 students, and there's still people on the wait list. So it's kind of, the most challenging thing is trying to predict those kind of unknowns of like how many people are actually going to show up and enroll in this program, and how do we make sure there's resources available if we do need to open more sections. So that's
finding resources and you're like, okay.
It's just ambiguity. But I consider myself pretty resourceful, so I don't think there's anything that I like can't take on, and I know a lot of good people to go to if I don't know what's going. Yeah, because it's a lot of state requirements too. So we have some good people to lean on.
That's good. So you have a group of people to be like, hey, I need help.
Exactly.
Give me the steps and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, one last question. So it's the end of the day. You're super busy. What's like one thing you could that's rewarding? You could be like, yeah, on the way home, you're driving, like, yes, I did this.
Ooh.
Day's done. I'm happy.
Honestly, I love talking with people. Like, a lot of my stuff is background, like behind the scenes kind of work, but I really love having impactful conversations and being able to take my behind the scenes work and make progress, like in person. Like, I was running a little late to this because I was talking to an instructor trying to figure out the new like book adoption process. So I had kind of researched that before, and then to be able to sit down with the instructor and be like, this is how it's happening in like in your system right now.
Right,
yeah. So I think seeing that work come to life and actually be in the classroom and working with the instructors is super rewarding. I mean, being here is super rewarding by seeing your stuff in action. I feel like I do everything. Like I buy your things. I schedule your classes, and I'm like, oh yeah, Ace is doing this and this and this, and I talk about it, and then I'm like, wait,
now you can finally
you can see
be
it.
in the seat.
Exactly.
All right, well, Katlyn, that was awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll kind of dive into some of the things you like to do outside of work. So,
okay, perfect.
Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned. welcome back to Staff Spotlight. Today we're talking with Bates Technical College Admin Assistant Katlyn Lucas. We already learned a bit about her background and career, and now we want to get to know more about her personal life outside of work. All right, so we're outside of work. What's like a hobby or something that you do outside of work?
Hobby-wise, I'm what you would call kind of a sporadic craft enthusiast, which basically means that I'll get into a craft and like obsessively work on it, and then it will just die off and I'll go on to the next. It's quite fun. I also love that I get to buy so much stuff and then it's just sitting there for a while.
The trends, like, is it like puzzles, models, knitting, quilts?
Great question. I'm really into crochet blankets, mostly because most of the time you don't have to count those stitches, and it's just like a square.
Okay,
so it's pretty easy. Okay. Yeah. And then I am also getting into like paint by numbers and whatnot.
That's always fun.
Yeah, and you can like throw on TV like while you're doing it and just like feel like you're making progress on something. And then I also like making like handmade greeting cards. So just like
greeting cards?
Greeting.
Oh, greeting
so
cards.
So like Christmas
cards
or things like that. But yeah, see, that's one of my...
You made that?
Yeah, it's super
awesome.
Big.
How old is it?
I was just like, I'm going to keep going until I don't have any more yarn.
So how long did that take you?
It actually didn't take me that long. So I did like 3. So this is from Thanksgiving, I think, of last year. And I did 3 blankets like that big, and I think it took me like maybe a month.
Just make one blanket that size?
Yeah. But like I said, it's obsessive. Like I can't do anything else until the blanket's done. It's kind of...
Wow, that's awesome.
It's kind of a burden, actually. But
I mean, at least that's something like you, like your creative side. You can just let your creative side just work and just not think about it.
Exactly. That's the goal.
So my understanding is that you do some volunteer work outside of Bates. Let's get into that.
Well, I like... ever since I moved to Washington, I knew I wanted to be involved in the community and involved in like matters that matter to me. So the biggest volunteer kind of opportunity I've taken for the past couple years has been with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They host Out of the Darkness walks nationwide every year. And it's all to fundraise for like suicide research, advocacy, and also education. So they can come into schools or communities, workplaces to teach more about suicide, the warning signs, the current research, and kind of prevention measures. So that's really, really mattered to me, and it's made a community that I really rely on. There's something that I've heard a lot when I volunteer there is that somebody you know has been affected by suicide, and that kind of stuck with me for so long because it becomes kind of something that not a lot of people talk about, and then you go into a community and everybody's sharing their story, and it really shows that there's so many people affected by suicide.
That's the one thing that affects everyone, whether or not you know about it, and it's a tough thing to bring up too, because it's like, oh, I didn't know so and so.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the stigma about it. If we were to talk more about it, I would hope that more people would be more open, and it's just really the stigmatized around it is really kind of sad to me. It's really. Yeah.
And that's like your main organization that you volunteer with.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you like to stay busy. You volunteer. Are you more of an indoor? I mean, obviously, arts and craft, that's indoors.
Yeah.
You live in Washington, right? Like, do you ever be like, oh, let's go outside, enjoy nature?
You know, once in a blue moon. Maybe.
It's nice this weekend.
It is nice this weekend. I sometimes go out. We'll do, like, some hikes and whatnot. Go to Mount Rainier. So I'll get outside, but I'm mostly like a homebody. I will stay in. I have my list of TV shows to get through. This kind of, it looks like this show's when I used to work at a museum. So that one was actually an outdoor museum, so I did get out quite a bit.
The Windsor Depot.
Yeah.
What is that?
So Windsor is a little town in Colorado. It's between two main towns, Greeley and Fort Collins, and it's kind of right in the middle. And the whole reason kind of got started was because they needed a train station there. So the whole museum is about how one train depot created a little town, and that was kind of cool. It's a cool little town. It has a lot of like Germans from Russia influence. So like if you go on Main Street, you can see kind of the facades, which, to be fair, it wasn't like that for a long time. They had Kodak, like the camera company, move in. And they were trying, before Kodak came, they were trying to like talk them into coming, and they had to be like, what makes us cool and makes us different? And of course, there was a lot of the population that were Germans from Russia, so they were like, let's just dive into that, and it's super cool. It's all the little small town histories that kind of fascinate me.
Is that something you delve into because you have your history bachelor?
Yeah, I did it while I was getting my bachelor's degree. And that one specifically, it was near the college that I was working at, and I had already done some research kind of into the area. I did, my big senior project was on prisoners of war during World War II, and in northern Colorado we had a lot of a lot of prisoners of war who would work on the fields, and like I said before, there's Germans from Russia in this population, so they were able to speak the same language and like have a really strong connection where they didn't see them as the enemy anymore. And there's even like some pictures of the guard like sleeping, and the prisoner would like pick up his rifle and set it up so he doesn't get in trouble. Like, like it became really, it was super intriguing.
Yeah, in Colorado.
Yeah, there's actually a couple, but they mostly for labor. And then my paper also looked at a different camp that was in Trinidad, but they were like locked away, so the community didn't see them at all, and the community just like villainized these people. But if you look, even like some of the people I talked to this day, like ancestry, they would still talk to, like, they had these connections even when the POWs went back, that they would still communicate and have that kind of friendship, which you would never think.
I never knew that about
what would happen.
And I never knew that about Colorado. I thought it was like mountains and skiing.
That's what a lot of people think. I mean, it's pretty flat, to be honest, unless it's like flat in the mountains.
Yeah.
So,
so I understand you're from Colorado, and now you live in Washington. Do you miss Colorado? Do you ever get homesick? Like,
yeah. I mean, I miss so many things about Colorado, mostly my family, of course. My little brother is still in Colorado, and he's actually finishing up his senior year, so he's probably sorry, Mom. He's probably the one I miss, like, absolutely the most. He's doing really good, though. He's in lacrosse. I used to, like, religiously go to his lacrosse games and be probably the loudest person there, which I'm a quiet person, so if you hear me, like, yelling is kind of crazy. So I'm sad to miss those games, but Washington has been treating me really well. I love the green. I didn't realize trees, like, I would always, like,
green?
this green and this tall. Like, I didn't realize the reason why people would have tree houses until I came to Washington. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
Is that your dream to own a tree house?
Honestly, now that you say it, I mean, it's a possibility.
All
it's
right.
a possibility.
Let's keep that on tabs. Are you going to visit your brother graduation?
Yes, I'm going for graduation, and then he's actually going to come back with me, and we're going to go to Canada, so do like the Victoria and Vancouver kind of trip, which honestly I'm super honored that he was like, hey, for my senior trip, I can choose anywhere, and I want to go visit my sister. And I was like,
awesome.
I know.
All right, last question. For anyone considering Bates, what would you say what is unique about this school compared to other colleges?
Ooh, okay, that's good. Well, I went to a 4-year like liberal arts school, and when I came to Bates, I was astounded by how fast people get into the field and start doing things. it's so hands-on, it's so technical, where like you're learning the skills that will apply to your job, like for sure, and how much we work like day in and day out to make sure that everything that we're teaching is beneficial and will make a difference with that job readiness. I think that's really what stands us apart, is that we're always trying to think one step ahead of what's going to be best for the next workforce.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of students come here. Sometimes they graduate and go straight to work, or come here a little bit and go straight to work.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's very unique. Well, anyways, Katlyn, this is a blast. I had a good time, good conversation. A lot of people got to know more about you, what you do here at work. You're not just sitting behind a computer, not just a front desk person, and also things you like to do outside of work. So hopefully you have other cool, fun projects to do.
We'll see. Always there.
Think about buying a treehouse.
I guess I'll put that on the list. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for taking time out of your day.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show today, Katlyn. For our viewers, this program is provided by the students in the Broadcasting Video Production program at Bates Technical College. For more information about the Broadcasting Video Production program at Bates, please go to www.batestech.edu/broadcasting. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Staff Spotlight.